Hey, and welcome back to the next episode of the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast, the podcast for guys who like right-hand drives. I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
Yo.
And this is episode 159. And we're back in the garage, a.k.a. the studio. And today, we're like, all right, let's talk about something we haven't really talked about, mostly. And that is, like, why Japanese people love their vans and wagons.
Dude, they do love their van and wagons.
They do love their vans and wagons.
100%. You go over there, that's about all you see, right?
Right. So that's the thing. You get off the plane in Narita or Haneda, and you're like ready to see some Skylines and Supras and NSXs.
Yeah.
And what pulls up? A Hi-Ace. And then there's another. And then another.
Or a Vellfire.
Or a Vellfire for sure.
You might get lucky. You might get lucky and see a Sentry.
And see a Sentry, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and they got the rug out on the side ready for you to wipe your feet and get in.
Yeah.
With that, when we first got off the plane in Japan, the first trip ever, that's exactly what it was. We walk out, and there's this, like, it's hard to even tell the years on those things, but it's like there's this gorgeous, beautiful woman. Thought I was gonna say car. No, this like gorgeous, beautiful Sentry, right? Yeah. With actually a woman driver. I remember this vividly. And she gets out and she opens the door for this guy, like a Japanese guy in a business suit and stuff, closes it, gets in, the curtains close.
We're like, who is that?
Yes,
we're
just like, oh my God.
Right. Dude, it had the curtains, the doilies on the seats, all
everything.
That, dude. Full kit.
And so this is this was our first, like, we literally walked outside the airport and this is what we see. And we're like, oh, is this for us? Like, really? For us? Yeah.
They heard we were coming.
Yeah, no, we got into a different van. And,
I think it was a Vellfire.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and like he said, you're not on the highway, you're not seeing just all these like 90s superhero cars. What you're seeing is a ton of vans, a ton of wagons. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if you could consider from the Hi-Ace all the way down to like the N-Box, like those are like vans, even though the N-Box is like a K car or whatever, it's still just a miniature van.
Right.
So that's realistically, and then on the wagon side of things, you're still seeing a ton of those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot of the ones that we're necessarily going to talk about in this episode because those are specialty, right?
Yeah.
But the average driver, is probably driving some resemblance of a van or a wagon.
Yes.
Like in Japan.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, that was what we started to notice throughout the trips quite a bit, was like these people love their vans, and not only do they love their vans, they love to modify these vans.
Yeah, they do. Like they get pretty crazy. And it kind of shows, you can kind of compare and contrast culture, because like in America, what do you see mostly? These huge SUVs.
Oh, yes, right? For sure.
And then you go over there and they make a better use of space, I guess you could say.
Yep.
And they use all these wagons and vans to make the best use of the space that they have. Mm-hmm. There's no wasted space in those vehicles either.
Yeah, and so, practicality-wise, like a van or a wagon, especially in single-vehicle families, because that is what you get a lot of in Japan because of all of the public transportation.
Yep.
So if you have one vehicle per family and you got at least 4 people in the family, like a van or a wagon is going to be the most practical because you can fit the whole family, plus you can fit whatever you're going to get, whether it's groceries or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I mean, the cities, especially Tokyo, if you live in any city, Tokyo, Osaka, whatever, they're tight, right? Yeah. They're busy, they're tight. Yeah. So
and parking.
Right.
Parking is a huge deal.
Right. So instead of, so instead of these big SUVs, right, like you said, where there is a lot of wasted space, if I think about a Hi-Ace that I've ridden in compared to my Yukon, dude, the Hi-Ace has insane amounts more room.
Yeah, your nose might be about to touch the windshield when you're sitting all the way back in the seat. But
yeah, for sure.
Hey, I mean, it's good use of space.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And so, I can see that. And a lot of times it felt like those vans were much taller than our vehicles here.
Yeah.
And then they were also much more lower to the ground. So I feel like that's what created a lot of that interior space,
Yes.
period. Whereas, like, again, a Yukon, you got to jump up into it. Like a high ace, you pretty much walk straight into it. It's
Yeah.
like, they really set them up like that.
Unless you got a Delica space gear.
A Delica what?
Space gear. It's all those are the lifted.
Oh, yeah.
The off-road type.
The off-road,
Yeah.
it looks so foolish. But right, they took that, and they call it over there is vanning culture, vanning. So, they took that and really ran with it. Where we in the U.S., we definitely like modify our SUVs or modify these things, but definitely not to the extent that they do these vans. Like some of these vans, they open it up and it's like a Rolls Royce inside.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the hell? Like orange leather, stars in the ceiling, 42-inch TV.
You're like, what the hell is this?
And then like, dude, I remember the first time we're driving down the road or down fucking whatever, the highway, and we look over and this freaking mom's seat is spun all the way around facing them in the back, and they're all watching TV in this van. And we're just like, what? How is this chick sitting backwards in the front seat? This is crazy. But in Japan, that's like a huge thing. That's almost like standard, rotating front seats.
Or like going to any of the PAs during a holiday week or something, you'll see families, just
eating lunch or whatever. Yeah.
They're all sitting in the back, Indian style, just sitting there eating or talking, whatever, doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, they're not in a huge car. They're just in a regular size van for over there. It's pretty crazy.
It is.
It's cool.
And so, the vans are really cool. We definitely started kind of becoming like fans of the van, right? Like we would start seeing them, whether it was at a pit or, whatever, up garage. And we'd start being like, oh, dude, fucking look at that high ace.
Yeah.
Where there's like a S13 sitting there.
Yeah.
And we like.
Oh, dude, the high aces, dude.
Yeah, the high aces.
The Toyota high ace, like, man, that first trip over there, that opened my eyes to those. I think both of us. And we were just like, by the end of it, we were just like, we were almost obsessed with high aces.
We were like, dude, how long till these can be imported?
Yeah,
for sure. Because they like, again, all of that space, all of that style, and it's a decent, it's a decent vehicle. I couldn't tell you what they have for motors in them, but I know that there's for sure multiple levels. Just like any vehicle, there's multiple levels to it, and you would see the highest level one and you could tell, but then you would see the ones with the body kit and like the slammed on wheels and like the whole thing.
T37s on them.
It was really crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing with those, man. You can modify them to literally any style that you want, to any extreme. Like I've seen them, fully gutted out with a cage in it, a 2JZ, like wing on the back, slammed on some aero, like as a road race type build. But then you see other ones that are kind of jacked up and more like overlanding type builds,
off-road type stuff.
And it's like the same platform, it's the same chassis. It's just like, which extreme do you want to go with?
Right,
it's pretty cool.
It's a blank slate for sure. So the vans are dope, right? Like you said, people do a lot of overlanding, and then maybe even the U.S. overlanding trend, like kind of like, because it's interesting how the trends like mix across the oceans, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody will either whatever come to America or see it on the internet, and then they replicate it just like we do for certain vehicles, right?
Right.
And so that is just interesting because we did kind of start seeing more overland type with like the little ramps that if you get stuck on the side and extra gas tanks and the whole thing.
But dude, remember one of the auto box we went to had a full it was like a quarter of the store was this one brand. I forget the brand, but it was like a high end overlanding type brand for vans, like maybe not necessarily just K vans and K cars, but like, I don't know, it's crazy. I think they had a Jimny. That's the one I was like looking at. And it was decked out completely, dude. Like everything was modified on it. Like everything was touched.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what is this brand? And like they must be doing good if they're having a whole quarter of the.
That's a
Autobots?
U.S. guy's brand. I
I know, it's-
exactly what you're talking about because I walk past it in a pit every single time. And it is all exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like camping out of your vehicle stuff, like overlanding stuff, like all of that.
But right, it has like an American type name. I keep wanting to say Robbie Gordon for some reason, but I know that's
no,
not
I
it.
think it's close to that. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Gordon Miller.
Gordon Miller.
Yeah, that's
there
what it is. Yeah. And I believe it is a U.S. because I remember we looked it up, and I believe it was like a U.S. brand, which is smart if you think about it. If you take something that you see another country is emulating, and you take this already kind of successful brand and rename it in the U.S. in Japan.
Yeah.
Does it say that?
Yeah, it's Gordon Miller. That's
Yeah.
who it is. And like they make all types of stuff. I mean, they make
Just all kinds of stuff.
everything. I guess there he is.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not who I expected, but that's dope.
But right, they make all types of stuff for that type of culture. I mean, it's pretty cool. And I guess since it's an American type name, like Japanese are going to be into it.
Right.
So.
And so that's actually like really smart if you
Yeah.
think about it. And so, yeah, like, you know, when let's move over to the wagons. When we talk about wagons, which we've already kind of had a wagon episode, so we don't need to beat this to death.
Yeah.
But in Japan especially, every manufacturer, not every, but a lot of manufacturers created a wagon version of one of their hero cars.
Yeah.
Right? So
I guess you could say any sought after engine that you would like that came from Japan, they probably had it in a wagon.
right. That
Right.
makes sense.
RB26, obviously the Stagia
Yeah.
RS-V4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or RS-260.
260 RS.
260 RS, there it is. The Evo. The Evo had a wagon.
The Evo wagon.
There was an SR20 in a wagon. I believe it's the Avenir wagon.
Yep.
So if you want an SR20 all-wheel drive, there's one for you.
WRX wagon.
Yeah. The Legacy GTB twin turbo
Yep.
boxer wagon.
Yep.
That's another one. Like,
STI Forester.
yeah.
The Legnum VR4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much, they created a family version
Yeah.
of their hero cars, so
Yeah.
to speak, that, you know, everyone could enjoy, which I think is sweet. I think that the U.S. kind of skipped over some of the wagon, like, culture
hate
that
it.
really is just... It's awesome. It's a car, but it's a van, so to speak, right? Like you get the storage space of something like that with the performance of that car. You know, like perfect example, Evo 9 wagon, right?
Yeah.
Like that is such a pure version of a wagon in the sense of that's literally an Evo 9 with just an extension on the back. Like they didn't dumb anything down. They didn't like, you know, make it tamer because it was a wagon.
Right.
Which I think is sweet, and we probably should have kind of embraced that a little more. But I feel like in the U.S., you're on one side or the other. That's always what I remember. You either liked wagons or you thought they were lame.
Yeah, I know, and it sucks because most people think they're lame. I think we're coming around. I'm starting to see more and more wagons being imported over, like from Europe or whatever, not necessarily Japan, but I feel like they're starting to gain a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
But I think, dude, I think they're awesome. Just what you said, like they're like the car version, except they got a little bit extra space.
Yeah.
And, you know, as far as handling goes, a wagon will outhandle anything else with, like, an SUV the same size will outhandle that, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And the driving experience of it, it's more like driving a car, not like driving a truck, which some people probably don't like driving SUVs because of the frame or how it rides.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas a wagon, you have plenty of space, but it still has that car feeling. And, you know, if you're into driving fast, it's way easier to drive fast in a wagon than it is, you know, basically a truck wagon.
Right. Yeah,
So-
yeah, for sure. I agree. It's much more nimble, low to the ground, which helps for loading things in the back too, right?
Yeah.
Like there's countless times when I got to load something in the back of a Yukon that I'm like almost smashing the rear bumper because it's so high off the ground. Whereas if it was a wagon, it would be more of a straight load in and just less struggle, you know? Yeah, I mean, I think that Japan was super smart making these wagon versions. It's too bad we didn't get them. It's cool if people are starting to embrace them.
Yeah.
I know we got like the WRX wagon,
Right.
and that was always super cool when a guy would modify his WRX wagon. Like that's so different,
Right.
you know. And so, yeah, I mean,
We also got the Legacy. Was it the Legacy or the Forester STI wagon here? We got one of those for a couple years, I believe, didn't we?
I
believe
feel
the
like
Forester.
the Forester,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember it had like the huge hood scoop, and I don't
Yeah.
know why it looked so much bigger on the Forester than it did on anything else.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was like
Right there,
monstrous,
in your face.
dude. I'm like, holy cow.
And those were pretty well received, I think, like in the U.S., you know. But
Yeah.
when you have this huge market and then you're making this car that only appeals to this small market,
Yeah.
it is probably hard to continue to create things for this super small market
Yeah.
when the rest of your market is so huge and you could create a vehicle that applies to more of them and sell more units, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we see that across the board with a lot of the cars that we're into is, you know, these cars are such a small piece of their whole manufacturing lineup
Yeah.
that eventually they almost fade off unless the company is super dedicated to that brand. Like, for example, Subaru with STI, they are super, super dedicated to that portion of the brand, and
Yeah.
that's why there's still a WRX STI, you know, whereas like,
But there's also a Lavorg STI.
yeah.
There's STIs on everything
Right.
in that sense. But
In Japan especially,
Yeah.
everything is like an STI, you
Yeah.
know. Here, a little less, you know, they did
Right.
keep it a little more exclusive, which I think was a good idea.
Yeah.
But just in the sense of, you know, GTR discontinued, Evo discontinued, you know, but Subaru has like held on to STI regardless of how much of the market it actually is for them. Because in the Northeast, we all know, like, Subaru wagons, a lot of people buy, right? Because they're all-wheel drive and represent certain things. So, yeah, I'm glad they kept a hold of the STI.
that's not just the Northeast.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, so the Japanese, I think, love these wagons because it still represents their passion, which is maybe these cars like we have,
Right.
but also caters to their family,
Right.
which in Japan, unless, you know, there's only certain guys that got 5 cars in Japan, right? Like most guys in Japan have 1 car, 2 at
Most
absolute-
families.
right?
Most families
right?
have-
Right,
right,
exactly.
right.
1 car, if not, like maybe 2.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty rare. So if you have to choose 1 car, like, you know, your old lady's gonna be pissed when you show up with like a sedan, you know, like it's like it's this fast sedan, and she's like, dude, what the hell? Like, we need to be able to carry stuff in the back.
Yeah.
You show up with the wagon,
Dude, the wagon.
the
yeah.
sports wagon.
The sports wagon.
Now
That's
she's
it.
happy and smiling
That's
and
the move.
dancing. Yeah,
Right?
for
She's
sure.
like, oh my God, wagon.
So I think that was really smart, right? Like in terms of like, let's just say Nissan creating the 260 RS.
Yeah.
You got the GTR guy that can have the family car.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's like now you have like Autech and Nismo and STI and Rally Art creating these wagons,
Yeah.
dude, like this whole other genre of car. So, and they're creating them for families, which is like sweet to think about. That's something I feel like, you know, performance motorsports skips over families in America often. You know, it's
Right. You're getting a 2-door if you want a performance car.
right for the most part, right? Like, look at all of our performance cars; they are 2-door,
muscle car. I mean, they're all
2 doors.
yeah. Unless it's a
Oh, one of them
Hellcat.
Hellcats. one of those Hellscats or
One of those Hellscat Chargers.
yeah, the
Or
scat,
whatever.
the pack scat, whatever it is. I don't
Whatever
know.
they're talking about.
Yeah,
dude, I
that's
don't
the only
know.
4-door thing that you can get arrested in around here, you know.
I guess, yeah.
And so it's like back in the 90s, from what I've read, back in the 90s is when all of this started with the vans and the wagons, right? Because of this, and this is before they even created these performance versions.
Right.
And maybe it was the inspiration for the manufacturers to create those versions because the Family Guy started modifying the regular wagon,
Yeah.
the regular van, you know, to be able to have something in common with his friend who had maybe a GTR, but like he can't do
And
that.
dude, they modify everything over there.
Everything.
Everything has a set of wheels on it.
Yeah, lowered.
Everything has a shift knob. Everything has stupid stickers all over.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Everything. It's so
Oh,
cool.
yeah, 90% of people are into it. Like,
Yeah, which
we'll
is
modify
really
like
cool. Whereas like here, I would say it's a drastically less amount of people that are just modifying even their daily drivers, right?
Yeah.
Like, which maybe there isn't the money for that, maybe there isn't the interest. I'm not sure what it is, but I mean, I don't know. Do you think that once the Alphard, the Hi-Ace, El Grand, all of these different crazy vans, once those can be imported, you know, in whatever, 10 more years, I don't know, whatever it is,
Yeah.
do you think that there is like a group that's waiting for that, ready to get them and modify them? And then B, if not, do you think that once they can come over here that they will catch on?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think that most people not in Japan or not in an Asian country don't even know some of these things exist.
True.
Like some of these vans, they don't know they exist.
Right, right.
You know, the people that have been over there and are into the type of culture, they know what they are, but, you know, they're not going out of their way to, you know, buy a Vellfire at auction or an Alphard. You know, they're not. I just don't see that. I don't see them being a huge thing, which sucks because they can be cool. But, I mean, I haven't even heard of anyone or seen anyone online really talking about.
But do you think that it's so far out that, like, because all the ones that we were seeing were probably newer than we realized.
Yeah.
You know, so
True.
So I don't know what the years are, you know, of production for the ones that are cool, but maybe we're so far out from that like that just no one's talking about it, you know, because it's just so far, like, or
because I mean, right? I feel like in Japan the way they do their cars, it's weird. Like the '90s, early 2000s. You know, almost up to 2010, everything looks very not dated, but you can tell it's from that era, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the next generation, everything is like futuristic almost.
Yeah. Huge headlights, huge taillights.
Right.
Like,
cool interiors, light LEDs everywhere, like just
Yeah.
cool type stuff. But I don't know. I mean, when do those come legal? I mean, is it going to be 2035 or is it going to be...
Well, I think the
Even
determining factor beyond the fans of those cars, right? Because of course there are some dudes that are into them already. Right now in the US, we don't have a clue.
Right.
Just like if you think about it, and I know this is a little different, but the K trucks, right? Those got this weird cult following.
Oh, true.
Which I get because they're like miniature trucks, mini trucks, right? I do
Good for
get that
utility.
part. But will the same type of thing be created for like VIP vans from Japan? I don't know. I think the difference in pricing between a mini truck and a VIP van is going to be light years apart, obviously, because, you know, whatever, you can get a K truck for $8,000. Are these things going to be 35?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to be 28? Like, I don't know, you know, and that I think is going to be the determining factor of whether you can get a 25-year-old Alphard for less than you could get, let's just say, a 25-year-old Yukon. No, where are those? You hardly even see those, dude.
Well, that'd be what? Yeah. You don't.
A 2000 Suburban, dude.
Yeah,
You
you're not seeing those up
rarely
here.
see that. Yeah. Down south probably because obviously things last longer. But like, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be the limiting factor is how much are these vans when they finally make it over here?
Right.
Is there still tariffs? Is shipping still astronomical? That's also a bigger vehicle.
But dude, they've made so many of them.
That's
Like,
true.
so many of them.
They're like
So what are
flooded.
those going to be going for at auction? Are those going to be the rock bottom, 1,000 yen out the door? Like,
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean? But you get it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Is it? Yeah. Are they like just super cheap because they're mass produced, overproduced?
Yeah, because that's what everyone has over there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see because it could either be a huge thing here or it could be nothing.
Yeah.
And like, I hope it's a thing over here because I do love those. I don't know. Again, I don't know like what they have for motors. I feel like they make a diesel high ace. Like,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
cool. Like that type of thing's cool, dude. You got a diesel van that can pull your car.
Yeah.
Like that's sick.
Yeah.
Like
Totally sick. And then you can sleep in it too.
you can sleep in it. You can put your spare tires in there. Like, it's a cool thing. It'll just really be interesting to find out. But I know they're not legally yet because you would at least see one or two over here.
Yeah.
There'd at least be a few. But you really don't see anything like that. Like you'll see a Delica or whatever, that type of thing, but like rarely, kind of.
Yeah, I haven't seen many. Like, there are high aces, but they are the older generations
Yeah,
that don't
square
look
headlights.
as cool.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for, well, I haven't been really looking for, but I've been looking at campers, JDM campers, and just seeing those pop up around here. It's not that many. It's not as many as you would think. And I'm like, damn, like I wish more of those would come over.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know if it's because of the size, like the shipping is a little different. I don't know if it's like top deck because of the height or, what, I'm not sure. They could be more to ship.
Yeah.
Which, because when I was looking at a ramp truck, that was way more to ship because of the size.
Oh,
so, who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a place for them. I really hope that they do catch on, especially as some of these hero cars age out from importation. Everything's been scalped over there for these hero cars. Like, will the importers kind of shift to what we're talking about? Like, VIP vans and, hot wagons and whatever else it is, right?
yeah.
I mean, they're either going to have to or they're going to go out of business because there's only so many 32 GTRs, Supras, RX-7s over there left that aren't destroyed. So, like, they either got to pivot or,
True.
Change industries, I suppose.
Change industries. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It's not just the JDM vans, too. Like, American vans are super popular over there.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was Wald had a kit for the Dodge Caravan, like the newer, like, bubble Caravan. They had a full kit for it that turned it into, like, full Japanese style. The Astro vans, those are huge over there. Like, huge. It is crazy because you'll see pictures of them at Daikoku or whatever, and they have, like, little side markers and, like, these little cues that tell you it's in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the hell? How did this Astro van from Alabama make it all the way to Tokyo?
And wasn't Sean Morris's family the ones responsible for that?
A lot of it, I believe.
Back
yeah.
in
they did a
back
lot
in
of
the
them.
day, they were exporting. If you don't know who Sean Morris is, he's the guy that was originally working for Hero at Motor X and helped bring in some of the first GTRs, and then now is part owner of Top Rank Importers. And he got his importing start with his dad.
Yeah.
Actually exporting Astro vans to Japan, and then obviously figured out like, hey, this can go both ways type thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And dude, another crazy van, the Dodge, the huge, like you usually see them as church buses or like
they're like
utility.
huge.
Yeah, the huge Dodge vans.
Yeah.
Dude, it's called the Dajiban.
Tajiban. Yeah.
Trend over there, and like they have a full race series where they're like racing these things wheel to wheel, like on road courses. And there's just these huge vans and
Like
little
huge.
Japanese dude driving it. Like the seats, like the only thing that's in them is a seat, and it's pushed all the way forward into the steering wheel, dude. It's just like
Straight
so
back.
much room. It's crazy, but like, how did that become a thing? I don't know, but
I know it is interesting between the two countries, you know, what caught on over there, what didn't,
Right.
same over here, you know, like
Right.
something we consider trash, they're like, oh shoot, we'd
Right.
love to have that.
because like over here we use those for what, conversion vans, like I said, church buses or
Like
work vans.
sometimes painters and,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
my stepdad
roofers.
used them for carpet, for his carpet laying business.
Right.
He'd throw a whole roll of carpet in the back of them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but
Pretty
over there
crazy.
they're like, we gotta race these.
Yeah,
It's
these
like,
are amazing.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I can see, you know, I have been to Japan like quite a few times, so I can definitely see the difference in just Japanese people and their mindset
Yeah.
and why they would like these things compared to like the American mindset and why like they're too cool for some of these things, you
Right.
know? Hey, hit us up in the comments. Let us know, like, wagon or van, like
Yeah.
Evo or Legnum. Wait,
Wait, what?
what? That's gonna be an Evo for sure. But yeah, no. Let us know what you think. Like, have you seen any dope high aces? Have you been to Japan and experienced what we're talking about? Definitely let us know in the comments or send us a DM. If you need to find us online, it's at RHDGUYS, and check out the show notes for the Facebook group. We'd love to have you for sure. But for episode 159, why the hell is Japan obsessed with wagons and vans? I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.